Once upon a time, Animal Kingdom was set to have a land filled with unicorns, dragons, and all things mythical. But then, Beastly Kingdom vanished into thin air. Today, we're digging into what could have been, why it never happened, and what ended up in its place. Plus, we've dreamed up a brand new experience that would bring the fantasy back in a big way. It's lost history and fresh ideas all in one, right here on this canceled episode of Idiot's Guide to Imagineering. Hey there, Imagine Idiots. It's Marissa, and welcome to episode 13 of season 3. After a 3-week spring break, we're back with a brand new full-length episode and a fresh Imagineering project. And I'm beyond excited that it's our third canceled episode of the season. And of course, I couldn't tackle this one without the incredible beasts I call co-hosts, Stephen and Katie.
Oh, I don't want to be a beast.
You beast.
Stephen insults us every week and calls us a new name. So now he gets to be a beast. You can be a unicorn, maybe.
Okay, yay. I win. Yay.
I'm
Hi,
the
everyone.
beast. Well, before this beast goes any further, I just want to take a moment and welcome all of the new listeners to the show. We've been getting so many great messages and feedback from new friends lately, and it really means a lot to us. So it's really kind of the best part of this whole thing, and like the connections and friendships that come out of it. So don't be shy. Reach out and say hi on our socials at any time.
And you can find us all over the interwebs on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube at Idiots Imagineering. And I don't know if we've ever mentioned this, but you can also email us at hosts@idiotsimagineering.com.
We always love hearing from you, and if you haven't already, leaving a review on Apple Podcasts is a great way to share your thoughts. We love reading them on the show, and now we're a little behind in sharing them because we do record these episodes well in advance, but we've got another review to read for you guys today. This one comes from Lee S. Newton or Lee's Newton, not sure how to say that, but they wrote, "This is always a fun listen and mental escape. The effort that goes into the ideas really shows. I hope the team at Walt Disney Imagineering are listening." Oh, well, I assume that their name might be Lee. And if that is your name, thank you, Lee. And if that's not your name, send us a message. Let us know who you are. We want to thank you.
Thank you so
really
much.
sweet.
That's so kind. We really want this show to be that. Just a fun listen and a mental escape, because that's what it is for us.
We also would love
exactly.
if WDI were listening to us, but also they may give us a cease and desist, so maybe not.
No.
No, they're just taking our ideas and using them.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, whatever. We also wanted to give a shout out to our new friends, Tim and Brian from the Civil Gore podcast. They recently mentioned us on their show and gave us such a nice review. We wanted to make sure that we thank them. If you haven't heard of them before, they discuss different horror Blu-ray and theatrical releases, along with doing some deep dives on different horror movies from the past, right up Amanda and my spooky alley. They also share lots of interviews with different actors and directors from the horror industry. So if you are into horror or you're just looking for a fun podcast to listen to, make sure to check them out at Civil Gore Podcasts.
Yeah, thank you guys. Well, since Marissa and I are teaming up for today's presentation, we didn't want Katie to feel left out. So
Yay.
we decided to shake things up a bit with a different kind of special guest today. As Disney enthusiasts, we're used to getting feedback on our projects through the eyes of Disney adults. And what about someone who isn't immersed in our world? Can we still create an experience that feels memorable and magical without all of the Disney knowledge and context behind it? Well, today we're putting that to the test. Please welcome my NYC bestie and verified non-Disney adult, Mike Escosia.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me. It's
Thanks for joining us, Mike.
thank you. I'm excited to learn more about Disney or to provide any opinion from a non-Disney expert.
I have a question. Have you been to Disney before?
So I've been to Disneyland. So I'm from the West Coast, but I have not been to Disney World, and
Wow.
I've been meaning to, but just haven't had the time.
Well, make that time and come visit us.
I
wanna hang out.
should.
It's crazy that I haven't forced you down there yet.
Yes,
I've
Yeah,
bring
known
them
you
on the
for
next trip.
over 4 years at this point and still haven't taken you.
I'm very surprised that you haven't. I'm surprised as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're planning a group trip. Get ready.
Yes, please. I would be there.
Yeah, we're here.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, since this week is the 27th birthday of Disney's Animal Kingdom,
Oh, she's old.
I want to imagine there's a new mythical creature for the park. So you can combine any two animals in the name. This is all in the name of imagination, not science. We're not encouraging any type of hybrid animal breeding.
Okay.
Let me be clear about that.
Okay.
But what is your hybrid animal and what would you call it? I'll go first. And I'll let y'all think on this one. So I think I'm gonna create an Elamingo is what I'm calling it. It's an elephant / flamingo, and I think the trunk is just going to be up as the flamingo head, and the head will be on the end of the nose, and maybe it'll stand on one leg.
Oh. It's weird. I don't know if I like it.
I feel like we got to use some type of AI to create these creatures.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Yeah, Marissa, get on it. Get on it now.
Marissa did some AI photo one time, and it created the most
horrifying
demon-looking animals we've ever seen.
Not a Lion King performance I ever want to go to.
Delete. Get that out of. Delete from the computer. Delete from my brain.
Yeah, the world.
Okay,
this
so
could be very good for that horror podcast.
Yeah, true.
Actually, yeah.
Right?
Civil Gore may be into this. Elamingo is the next horror film coming out that they're going to review. It's about a terrorizing elephant.
You don't
flamingo.
like whales, but you want that thing around?
I do. I like that. I love a flamingo. They're so social and pink, and elephants are my favorite, obviously.
Not with an elephant. Not with the
okay,
one.
Well, what do you have that's so much better, Marissa?
I'm gonna go with. I'm not gonna go with beluga. That's the obvious choice. I'm gonna go with a panda ref.
Ooh,
a
what's it
panda
gonna
giraffe.
Look like?
It's gonna be basically a panda that they have stretched to be long and thin, and walking around eating bamboo off trees. I can't really picture it, but
well. I can't wait to see what you come up with when you create the visual
stretched
for that.
out panda. With a
so wait, do they slither? Are they like?
Why would they slither?
It's a giraffe and a panda.
They're long. Oh,
stretched upward, not snakeward.
Lost its legs.
I was like, are we missing something?
Am I missing something?
Slithering pandas.
Okay. Just hold on for the AI contraption I come up with, and we'll see what this looks like.
I'm so scared.
Okay.
All right, Katie. So what have you come up with?
Oh no. Well, I have to go with something cheetah because I love obviously cheetahs. But I thought maybe it'd be fun to have a cheetah mixed with a dolphin, a chalfin.
Ooh.
That seems like a Lisa Frank situation or something.
Yes, it would have like lots of fun colors. I don't know why it would have fun colors because that doesn't exist on cheetahs today, but it would have like the pattern of a cheetah.
That.
It lives in the water and it's like a torpedo just shooting through the waves.
That's terrifying.
No, it's nice because cheetahs are nice.
Allegedly, according to Katie.
They're the fastest land animal, aren't they?
Yes.
So imagine that being the fastest water animal. Dead.
I'm scared.
And it's a dolphin, so it's super smart.
That's even worse.
Did I just create the new dominant species?
What'd you call it?
What'd
you call it?
A dolphin.
A dolphin.
It's not a
Dita.
A Dita or dolphin? Yes.
Dalita.
I don't know which is better. Let's have the listeners decide.
Yeah, we're gonna put up a poll. Is it Dalita or Chalfin?
Or what animal would they like to see?
I like Dita better than
Dita.
I like Dita.
Adita Menzel.
Yes. Adele Dazeem.
Adele Chalfin.
All right, Mike, what you got for us? Let's keep it moving.
Oh man, this is hard. This is on the spot too.
I know.
My first thought was a mix between a lion and some kind of bird, so it's a flying lion, almost like a Pegasus. But I want it to have like chaotic energy, which is where I have the lion coming from, I want it to be a terror in the sky.
Just like you as a Leo.
Yeah, exactly right. And so I would call it, this is not the most creative, but I would call it the lyre. A lion in the air, but like a play on lyre. It's like chaotic. Yeah.
Like I'm not lying, it's a liar.
I love it.
Yes.
Sounds dangerous.
It does sound dangerous. They're scary enough on the ground.
You have the cheetah dolphin in the water as the most terrorizing thing in the water. I have the one in the sky.
Oh,
So
God.
Oh.
we can
Let
band
loose
together.
on the town. Yeah.
Marissa and I have the harmless ones that are just
Yeah,
minding their own
walking
business,
around.
slowly
Take you guys out
moving.
first. You slither
Doing
down with your
nothing.
weird
Yeah.
slinky body
Mine's just standing around on one leg, doing nothing.
with its
Mine.
weird long neck. No
With its
face.
weird
Just a
long neck.
skinny panda.
Wow, this was one of our weirdest prompts ever, and I
I love
enjoyed
it.
it.
I
We
know.
need more of these.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that. Let's
more of
mix
these
things
in the
up more
future.
often. Well, with that note, it's now time for our Imagineering project of the week. For those joining us for the first time, each week our team selects a project manager to develop a thoughtful, strategic proposal for a new or updated Disney park, resort, or experience. Our ideas are grounded in reality, taking into account current technology and park layouts. While we're mindful of budget considerations, we're not limited by them, allowing for informed creativity that fits within the Disney brand. This week's project managers are Marissa and Steven.
First came the Magic Kingdom, then Epcot, then Disney MGM Studios, and now introducing the most adventurous Walt Disney World theme park ever. Disney's Animal Kingdom, the imagination of Disney, gone wild.
Wow, feels like the 90s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Well, picture it. It is the mid 90s, and Disney's Animal Kingdom was being developed with massive ambitions. Disney was seriously vibing with the idea of bringing a completely new kind of park to life. They were tired of the same old Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, so why not make a park that's all about animals? But with a bit of a mythical twist, enter Beastly Kingdom.
Yes! I've been so
Okay.
excited for this.
So imagine a park that had both real animals and mythical creatures. Yes, we're talking dragons, unicorns, perhaps a griffin or two.
Maybe
All
a
the best-
cholfin.
All the best creatures, exactly. Ditas,
Liars.
Dorinda.
Dorinda.
What did I call
This is my
What
kind
did
of
I call
ride.
mine?
My
What
kind
did
of
I call
land.
mine? Pandaffs? I already forgot.
Pandaraff.
Pandora.
Pandaraf.
And an
okay.
Elemingo.
All running around. And there's even a fire-breathing dragon in the commercial we just played. Beastly Kingdom was supposed to be a land dedicated to those mythical creatures, blending Disney's love for storytelling with the ancient allure of beasts from legends. This land was to be built on the concept that nature had birthed these incredible mythical beings alongside the real animals we know today. It's like saying, here's a giraffe, and right next to it, the dragon that flies over it, because why not?
Now, let's talk about what was actually in the cards for this ambitious idea. Some of the early plans included a few key attractions. One was the Dragon's Tower, which was a dark ride that would take guests through a mystical, dragon-filled world. You'd think you were casually wandering through a forest, and then boom, dragons. Now, I'm trying to imagine like the potential for the animatronics and like the epic visuals that would have gone with this. It really could have been like a ride that really rivaled anything they'd ever done before. But there was also talk about an attraction called the Quest of the Unicorn, where you would encounter a majestic mythical creature in a forest setting. So basically Marissa's dream in a
That's
nutshell.
basically just Marissa's life.
It is actually
Basically,
her
what my
entire
head looks like at
existence.
all times.
Mhm.
But wait, there's even more. So the attractions didn't just stop at the rides. There were also plans for a boat ride through a mystical river. And no, not like It's a Small World. We were talking more like a journey to meet the actual beasts. A forest filled with creatures from fairy tales, and even a maze that would let guests get lost in their own fairy tale world. But this was no small feat for Disney. I'm imagining kind of like a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them style area decades before we actually got it from Harry Potter. They were dreaming big, but then reality kicked in.
So why did Beastly Kingdom never see the light of day? At the time, Disney was planning Animal Kingdom. They were riding high on this concept of integrating animals into the natural world and immersive storytelling. The idea of blending mythical creatures with real-world animals was ambitious, and at this point, too ambitious, some might say. And in the 90s, Disney was already shelling out big bucks for the park itself. And think about it, creating an entire land filled with dragons and unicorns. I mean, it sounds cool in theory, but it would have required a lot of cutting edge technology and a massive investment to pull something off as remotely epic as the concepts were that they had planned. So the big dream of flying dragons, it wasn't exactly feasible on the Disney budget at the time, and like it is 3 decades later when Epic Universe is opening.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of obviously I'm sad it didn't come to like a Disney park, but I think for the time it needs to be pulled off now. I don't.
Mhm.
It would have been interesting to see how this would have worked and if it would have
Right.
had the same like wow factor that I
Mhm.
think we're going to get from Epic.
Right. And I think along that note is like, if this could have been designed as a land where they could have just made the investment on the land instead of trying to include it into the budget of an entire park, maybe you would have been able to see this come to life differently.
Right. Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
it could have been fun.
Oh, and let's not forget there were corporate shifts happening as well. So Disney execs were realistic about what guests were actually going to want to see. People were excited about the real animals like lions and elephants, but not so much about interacting with a mythical unicorn that probably didn't exist. Although I would be, so I don't really know who they were talking to.
Yeah.
back then.
I
What did
agree.
they
Yeah.
talk about? I would have loved this land. What a
Mhm.
crazy.
So instead of dumping more money into an idea that wasn't getting the massive mythical reception they thought it would, Disney decided to put a pause on Beastly Kingdom and rework the concept. Womp womp.
No.
Oh, I know. So this reworking brought about Camp Mini Mickey, a much more family-friendly, low-budget alternative that fit into the park's timeline. And it was meant to be a temporary solution, just until they could figure out what to do with the space. And honestly, it was kind of like a nature-loving, Disney-fied version of your average summer camp. And as a child, I loved it, because it was like the most characters you could get inside that park.
I don't remember
Yeah.
ever really caring about it.
Oh, it was a cute area. I liked it. On our college program, Katie, it was still around. I don't remember
Yeah.
when they got rid of it, but
I didn't have time for that. I need rides. Get out of my way. Can't Mickey Minnie. I'm busy.
I am not gonna lie, I didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
So this Camp Mini, I thought we were still in Fantasyland.
It's honestly,
Nope.
it's
we're
better.
not even in that park, Mike. We're not
See,
in
this
that
is the reason why I'm a novice. Right? This is why you have me as a
park
guest.
here.
Look, we're teaching you so much today. There's more than one park at Walt Disney World. That's
Oh my god, what?
Sure.
You mean I can't just do it in one
item
day?
one.
Well, you could, but you
people
can't.
people
actually
do
get
and
tired.
people try. There are people that actually try to do 6 parks in one day, where they'll wake up in the morning in Orlando, do all 4 parks, and fly to California and get in the other
Wait,
2
really?
parks. Yes, because
Yeah.
the time zone, they get 3 extra hours going the other way. So people have done it. They're very
This is
successful with it.
intense.
The face that Mike and I just made listening to this, like,
Yes.
what?
I've
It's
seen
not
it.
something I have an interest in doing, but good for them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm
good for
tired
them.
just thinking about it. Do they just like put one toe in the park and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here?
exactly what they do. They go through the turnstile and
Seems like a
leave.
cheat.
I guess they take a picture to prove that they were
I
there.
think
Like with
usually
like
they try to do
with the
one thing, whether it's one attraction, one snack, one drink, just to say,
Mhm.
okay, I did
use
that
the
there.
bathroom.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
something.
know.
That doesn't
Seems
sound
so
so.
cheating.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's probably not enjoyable. It's probably just to say you did it. You know what
That's
I
right.
mean?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy my day. We're going
But you know,
multiple
good for
days.
them.
Mike.
Good for them.
Good for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Not
Good for
judging
them.
their life choices.
Love that for
except
you.
I totally am judging.
Well, back to Camp Mini Mickey that Mike just discovered. So Camp Mini Mickey wasn't just a placeholder. It was also meant to fulfill another park need, character meet and greet. So you
Yes.
wanted to see Mickey, go to Camp Mini Mickey. You want to take a selfie with Goofy, there's your spot. I don't think the selfie was even a thing back then, but here's the thing. Where Camp Mini Mickey might have been cute and family friendly, it was always meant to be just a temporary solution. And like we discussed in our 20th Century Studios episode, Disney doesn't like to invest a ton into experiences that aren't intended as endgame experiences.
How long was this temporary solution in place?
Camp Mini Mickey, I guess up until 2015 or 16 when they started working on Pandora.
Yeah,
It-
doesn't feel so
it
temporary.
lasted-
Getting an exact.
It lasted almost
getting
2
an exact
decades.
year.
Oh,
Oh,
our
wow.
researchers on the case.
Yes,
It
researcher.
closed permanently on January 6, 2014.
2014.
Wow.
even
That's pretty
earlier.
recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, it's been 11 years.
Oh.
Hey.
That's crazy to think about. I still think it's 2020, but
Yeah, I was
you know
gonna
what?
say, I feel like
I thought
Just
that was
close.
last week.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Well, flash forward a few years, and Disney started eyeing Avatar in the early 2000s. And with the success of the films and the technological advancements in CGI and the chance to tie in this global media phenomenon at the time, Disney really saw an opportunity to replace this kind of low budget camp area with something that would make them a lot of money. And that's where we got Pandora, the world of Avatar. It was just too good to pass up for them. And well, with the clout of James Cameron's franchise behind it, Disney decided that Avatar made more sense than mythical creatures and camp vibes.
Does it?
Right. It depends on who you ask, I guess. But
I feel like it's still very mythical.
Right.
feeling.
yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of part of it. The decision to scrap Beastly Kingdom for Pandora wasn't just based on technological limitations or thematic shifts. It was kind of about prioritizing what would likely draw the biggest crowds and honestly rake in the most cash. And Avatar was a global sensation
And it
in the
just
box
goes
office.
hand in hand with them wanting to use IP to drive crowds versus
Exactly.
creating their own new
Mhm.
original stories behind these rides or areas.
Yeah, it's a different Disney World now when it
Mhm.
comes to what's created and what's put on the docket.
So as it turns out, Beastly Kingdom never became a reality, not because Disney didn't want it, but because the reality of technology, budgeting, and shifting corporate priorities nudged it aside. In hindsight, the mythical creatures we dreamed of in Animal Kingdom were left in the dust, replaced by glowing blue people and floating mountains. Just not
Which
as
I will
good
say
in my
is
mind.
It is beautiful.
It's
Mike,
beautiful,
Mike,
but
you'll have to go see it because they created this
Yeah.
stunning like visual experience.
Especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
It
love
very,
it.
very
lights
cool.
up and glows and
Mhm.
However, if it's between unicorns and dragons or
banshees
blue
and
people,
We could have ridden a unicorn
come on.
and
I
Flight
would have
of
chosen the unicorn.
Flight of Marissa's Dreams. It could have been the name of the ride. Missed
Flight of
opportunity.
Marissa's Dreams.
Yes.
Well, today, if you walk through Animal Kingdom, there still are a few traces of the original idea that are scattered throughout the park. There's a dragon head on the main entrance and a unicorn parking section, and there's still dragons in some of the park benches. So it's kind of almost like Disney's way of saying, like, we didn't forget about it. We just kind of got distracted with blue people.
I don't think I ever really noticed it. All of that.
Yeah,
Now I'm going to go in and try to.
keep an eye out for it next time you go.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Mhm.
am.
There's little subtle
Mhm.
references.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And while we can't exactly say that blue aliens were the dream we all had back in the day, hey, they have made a lot of money for Disney, and that money can be used to create new Imagineering projects like Puebla Esperanza, which is already under construction.
Mike, that is a brand new kind of Tropicals America area they're building, and it's going to have Indiana Jones and the characters from Encanto, which I don't know if you've
Okay.
seen that.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they're going to
there you
have
go.
that an attraction there.
With Indiana Jones, though? Like, I can't
Yeah,
see the
so they're doing
connection.
like an Indiana Jones kind of Central America themed Indiana Jones
I
ride.
see.
They're
Okay.
they're redoing an old ride and retheming it as that. So it's kind of an original
Was
Indiana
that
Jones
Indiana Jones?
experience.
Is that the one with the fire and the huge boulder? That ride?
Yes,
Am I
yes,
thinking the
that
same?
show.
There
that
is
the-
yes,
the
they
show.
have
The
that at.
show.
He's talking about the
No.
ride at
The ride.
Disneyland because
Oh,
yes, so
it's
you've
the
ridden
ride.
that. Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Wait, is that
Yeah,
only
yeah.
in Disneyland?
It's only at Disneyland. Yeah,
Okay. So I
it's
do know
probably-
It
something.
will be different
Okay.
than that one.
Yes,
So
it's
we're not
gonna be
getting an
different.
exact copy.
they're trying to make it an original story, but it is the same type of ride.
Mhm.
Got it.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite ride in Disneyland Park.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe not the whole resort. I'll leave that to
Pretty
Mission
good.
Breakout. But
Yes.
but yeah, so who knows? Maybe one day we will get a mythical land if Avatar 3 doesn't eat away all the budget first. And I'm
Oh,
sure there'll be
man.
more after that. But until then, we're just going to have to settle for the occasional hidden dragon tucked away in the shadows.
Oh, that's sad. Or we
Who
can
wants
just go
the
to
real
Epic
thing?
Universe and see one.
I think we should bring this idea back. I like this whole fantasy land. I
Me
think
too.
I don't know. As millennials, I feel like we would thrive in this type of land.
Mhm.
I think so too. And that's something that we talk about a lot on this show is like millennial nostalgia isn't something that's necessarily high priority for the upcoming attractions and Imagineering projects because it's like they're trying to create for a new generation and
But-
Not for us.
But I think, like, we talk about it all the time, how Universal's doing it, and obviously putting in the How to Train Your Dragons is geared towards a different generation or age group than us. But we're all still really excited for it because,
True.
it's, like dragons, fairy tales, like
Exactly.
that's all stuff we grew up
We're
with.
not connected to that IP in any way, but if you tell me there's a flying dragon that I can see that's literally flying over my head, just in the air, not suspended by anything that they've created. There's meet and greet dragons that you can meet that are not people.
Dragon popcorn holders.
Dragon popcorn holders. They've created something that is appealing to everyone.
Mm-hmm. And also, I just really love original stories, and I'm sad we didn't get to see more of that with this.
Well, a lot of our favorite attractions are that. Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean. These were original things that became incredible IP.
And I'm just going to say,
like over time,
some of the best movies have come from rides.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Pirates
Haunted
of the
Mansion
Caribbean
ride
has
was
like
so good.
8 movies or something.
You know how many there are anymore.
Literally. Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, you guys are in luck because now it's time for Steven and I to take a go full beast mode on our own original experience for the canceled land.
Full beast mode.
I love when you go beast mode.
Beast mode,
not
baby.
just teeny, full on.
Full beast. Well, when we started thinking about our attraction, the obvious first thought was to go in the direction of this dragon-themed ride. It's a way we could incorporate some kind of insane cutting-edge thrill ride technology with like larger-than-life, modernized animatronic monsters, like the whole 9 yards. But instead, we decided to take a very different approach.
We've spent most episodes this season focusing on projects with Disney IP, but when it comes to our canceled projects, that doesn't always work. So this land was not designed with IP in mind, like the majority of Animal Kingdom when it opened, and we wanted to work off of something that was actually planned, an attraction called the Quest of the Unicorn.
Yes, we're going the unicorn.
We are going with the unicorns. I wasn't going to get away with anything else with her on the project.
True, that's true.
So, I should have known that this was the angle Marissa was going to jump at, and she took it and ran with it. And we kind of really thought, but how are we going to bring this to life? Is it like a unicorn meet and greet? Is there a unicorn ride? Is it a show? I don't know.
So, and then I realized it didn't have to fit into a perfect box of anything Steven just listed. And I immediately thought of a now extinct attraction from Islands of Adventure at Universal. So does anyone remember Poseidon's Fury?
Unfortunately.
Not I.
Mike, of course, does not.
Did not.
You're not missing much.
Well,
Listen.
I disagree. For anyone who is never blessed with this opportunity to experience it, Poseidon's Fury was like a really unique walkthrough attraction, and it blended live actors, special effects, like immersive storytelling.
I will say, before I know I just poo-pooed all over this, but I will say, as a kid going on it, obviously I was hoping for like a thrill ride and I didn't really know what to expect, but I was really blown away by the special effects and like that you felt like you were in that story, and there was like the water.
Yeah, you never know what's coming next. You don't know where you're going.
And it was corny, but it was done well.
Yeah. Good corn.
That's right. Candy corn.
My favorite kind.
Well, it was set deep in the ruins of this ancient temple, and guests followed an archaeologist's guide deep into Poseidon's lost chambers, uncovering a battle between an ancient god and some ridiculous villain. And along the way, there were elaborate water and fire effects that kind of brought it all to life, including a moment where you walked through this swirling water vortex. Like you were in this tunnel and the water was like starting on the right side of you and flying around over your head and down the left side of you. It was
Like
the craziest.
That sounds really cool.
It's really cool. So you should go look at the videos of this if you've never seen it. But the attraction was really known for its theatrical presentation and their grand finale, where Poseidon's power was like unleashed and this battle was surrounding you. You were in this small room.
Okay,
it was kind of
cool.
similar to the effect you see on, Mike, you won't know this, but Cosmic Rewind, where you're in a small room and they flash lights and all the walls disappear and you're in this giant room all of a sudden. So it's very much like that. Like you enter this tiny room and then you're in this grand like cavern where they start fighting and battling around you.
Flames and lightning.
Right. It was like live actors. There were
Water.
like projections. There was water, fire.
Like real fire, real water.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Get my senses going.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Have you guys ever
sadly,
been
it
to
closed.
the Caesar's Palace
I
in Las
have.
Vegas? They have like a Poseidon show, and
Yes,
I'm
I've
like
never
I
seen
didn't
it.
imagining
see
it's
that.
it.
kind of similar to that and like a very controlled storytelling immersive setting where there's
Oh.
like a guide that's led you to it and like you
That's
cool.
stumbled upon it. But yeah, I know
Okay,
what you mean.
Is the
So I
one
can
in
imagine
Caesar
it.
still open?
I think so. It's
Yeah, it's like
all
in their like
different.
mall part, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Oh,
forum
cool.
shops.
Mhm.
I was
Ah.
like, I've
I
been
used
to
to go there in
Caesar
high school, just
in
hang out by the
Ah.
forum shops.
Yeah, but it's not like an attraction that you would line up for or pay for. It's just like out. Like you
It's
can just
Right.
walk up to it and see it.
But like it's like every 40 minutes they would do like
Yeah.
an actual show. The sky changes, and then they
Yes.
fight in
That's
fights.
fun.
So it sounds very similar,
Yeah. Oh, good call
Yeah.
out.
but no water, no fire. That's the
Oh.
unfortunate thing.
It's the version
Yeah.
2.0 coming soon.
scaled back version.
Mhm.
Well, sadly, Poseidon's Fury closed in 2023, and I don't think there's any signs of it coming back anytime. But like we mentioned, go watch it on YouTube if you have some free time. It was a really unique experience. So this felt like the perfect inspiration for the type of attraction that we could bring to our Beastly Kingdom.
So I have a quick question. I know that we're a Disney podcast, but do we know, are there any plans for anything to go into that space, or is it just empty right now?
I don't think they've announced anything. It's
I don't even know if
think
that's
pulling
space
a Disney?
empty, or did they do something with that space? I have no idea.
I don't know. They might be using it for like overflow things or stroller
I haven't been to
parking.
Universal in like 2 years, and I was there for a hot second. So the day
Yeah,
was
and
there.
there's not much else in that land. So aside
Yeah.
from the restaurant, which has been, the restaurant is called Mythos, and it has this sign on the front of it that says it's
Yeah.
the #1 theme park restaurant in the world.
Since
And
that
it
park
was like it
opened.
was like from 1999.
Yeah.
And they've left this
We
banner
once
up.
won this
Like another-
30 years ago.
Right.
I think
It's
they
been
won it like
25
that
years.
a couple years, and then that was the end of that.
Yep.
Never forget.
They're
They're
still
never going to
proud.
let that one go. It's like a
No.
permanent sign. Like it cannot be removed. It's like installed into the rock work.
Yep. Perfect.
Well, so we got to researching and we knew we wanted to go with unicorns,
Uniforms.
not uniforms.
I want to go with unicorns. Maybe you want to do
Go with unicorns. And it led me to learning about something called crypto tourism. And which is not traveling for Bitcoin like I first thought it would be.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
No.
This sounds too
Uh,
advanced for us.
Right. Crypto tourism is defined as popular travel among those who are interested in cryptozoology, which is the study of animals that are reported to exist based on anecdotal or other unverified evidence, like the Yeti or Chupacabra.
Or the Sasquatch.
Or Sasquatch, yes. These travelers visit locations that are famous for being sites of supposed cryptid sightings and sometimes may even participate in tours, expeditions, or events designed to track down or learn more about these mysterious creatures.
I
That
love
sounds
crypto
really
tourism.
Yeah.
cool.
I kind of like, I
Yes.
mean, I don't know that I believe in any of these things, but I like the idea of believing in them. And so it could be kind of fun to like go out
I
and
know.
look for one.
I mean, there's so many cultures out there that like have these like legends, like
Mhm.
Chupacabra, like and I feel like that would really attract them.
Yeah.
I mean, it attracts me, right? As a person like that
Mhm.
doesn't
So
follow
cool.
that. Like,
Yeah. There's so many cultural monsters out there.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Mhm.
Loch Ness. That's the
Mhm.
person I
Yeah.
thought of.
Nessie. Yeah. I love that.
So meanwhile, while Steven's doing all of his research about crypto tourism, he's like, Marissa, I need you to do some research on unicorn hunting because that's a huge thing.
Wait, really?
Hold
Yeah.
on. Well, unicorn hunting does not only have that meaning. So in my research, I found
Oh no.
unicorn hunting is a term used
Oh no.
to describe a couple looking for a third person to join
I've
their
heard of that.
relationship.
Heard of that.
Either for a
Yes.
short-term connection or a long-term partnership. The term unicorn refers to how rare it can be to find someone who fits all expectations, much like spotting a mythical creature in the wild.
I've heard of that.
These are the facts I came back with.
So-
I think they talked about that on 90 Day Fiancé this season.
Sounds right. So I told Steven, well, I'm not finding the unicorn hunting that you're thinking of, but I did learn something new today.
Absolutely. This attraction is going to be really popular in the throuple community. So we really wanted to embrace, a new
Yeah.
experience for them to feel included. Oh, well, during my research, I also learned that the national animal of Scotland is actually the unicorn. So, of course, that's the setting for our new experience. I thought that was so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, they really love their mythical creatures.
That makes me think it actually existed. I do believe that
Right?
unicorns exist.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
crazy.
believe-
I
why
didn't just
not?
pick myself up and move to Scotland at this point.
Yeah.
I align so
Seriously.
much with their culture.
I booked a trip and I will be there in
I'm so jealous.
August, September. So I will keep an eye out for unicorns. I'll let y'all know if I see one.
Go unicorn hunting.
Be on
Yeah.
the hunt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be unicorn hunting in Scotland.
Wild. An
Yeah.
adventure.
Planned a trip.
Surprise.
You sure did. Well, welcome to Unicorn Quest at Enchanted Glen.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are turning a portion of Beastly Kingdom into Enchanted Glen, a cold, sleepy town in the deep woods of Scotland.
Now, this town is famous for unverified unicorn sightings over the past 1,000 years or so. But if you ask the locals, there's absolutely no question as to whether or not they're real because they truly believe in them. And before you even arrive at the entrance to the attraction, you will stumble upon an old pub called the Silver Horn. Inside, it's adorned with posters on the wall of unicorn sightings, and the bartenders will tell tales of seeing them deep in the grotto, encouraging guests to go see them for themselves. And we wanted to really bring over this grotto idea from the original concept as well. We wanted to kind of keep it true, but modernize it.
I'm like picturing this town as like, do you remember that old YouTube video of like this like news segment where they asked people, they like spotted a leprechaun and everyone in the
who all
town.
see the leprechaun say yeah.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
That's what this town reminds me of.
Steven's mom's favorite video of all time.
I want the gold. Give me the gold.
Yes.
This amateur sketch. It's literally
With that, make sure that's in the storyboard.
Okay. Yep, it's
What
just
this
like
town
that.
is. Yep.
But imagine that video with Scottish accents.
And
Oh,
classier.
I hope there's like hand-drawn unicorns that people.
Oh yeah,
official
for
sketch.
sure.
You know I can come up with a
amateur
great
sketch.
art
Yeah,
work.
get AI to help you with that, Marissa.
Yeah, I will. So in the Silver Horn, you can grab a drink for courage or a snack for the journey ahead of you. And we considered casting this area with international college program students from Scotland, so all of the cast members would be true Scots with accents and all.
Mhm. So once you've mustered up the courage to go on your quest, you'll head outside to join your tour group. The entrance to the attraction is not going to be elaborate or grandiose. It's going to be unassuming, like a small business tour company, and there are signs for unicorn watching tours and more signs trying to convince you that they're real. And you might even see an old merchant wandering the streets, summoning you to come see.
Ooh.
So the queue will be heavily wooded with fog effects and a truly eerie soundtrack playing in the background. This tour isn't for the faint of heart because there's just no telling what we might find. And this experience won't be a massive people eater, as we plan to send out groups of up to 60 or so every 15 minutes. So you're looking at a THRC of only about 240 an hour.
What's THRC?
So that is the theoretical hourly ride capacity. So that means if the ride is running at 100%, which is impossible. So there's a different one called the OHRC, the operational hourly ride capacity, which is the real numbers. But theoretical means if you're running perfectly on time at max capacity, this is the most people that could get through. So it's a smaller number. Most attractions at Disney are much higher. If you think of something like Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean, which are between 2,000 to 3,000 people per hour, this is a smaller one. So it's kind of raises the question of why would we do this? And we're really anticipating this attraction is going to appeal to a more specific demographic, probably those who are more interested in theatrical and slower paced experiences. So we didn't feel the need to prioritize a high THRC for this to be a success. So it will provide a break from the high thrill rides, but it's going to become a different type of attraction for the land and the park.
I think this is kind of perfect for Animal Kingdom because I feel like there's a lot of stuff you can do there where you can just kind of like roam around and stroll and see animals. So this kind of fits seamlessly right in there.
It works with like there's a place called Maharaja Jungle Trek there, Mike, and you can walk around and see tigers and bats and things. It's kind of like themed around India, and then they have a Gorilla Falls experience where you can go see gorillas, and it's just kind of at your own pace thing to do to keep it casual.
And think about this: if you're walking miles per day in one resort, this is a good break in between.
You can slow down and
mix it up.
Is it supposed to be like a safari? Like when you first described it, I was imagining sort of a safari-esque ride with like the fantasies all over it. So like, how is that working?
Well, let us tell you.
Okay, thank you.
It's a good question.
We're getting there.
So, like we were kind of saying, it's important to remember that not every attraction has to be an e-ticket, jaw-dropping attraction. Like, it doesn't have to be the attraction of the park. So, we kind of wanted you to feel that this is different than that. And another thing is, the queue is part of the show. So, we haven't even gotten to the experience yet. You're still in line at this point. So, it's okay if you're waiting in line at this point because you're already kind of immersed into it. It's setting up our story perfectly. It's similar to an attraction they have called Rise of the Resistance, where it's really unclear when the attraction really begins. The guests are in line and there's already interactions happening. You're having animatronics, you're meeting characters, you're experiencing different types of cast members. Some are good and some are evil, and they're telling you what to do, but you haven't even gotten on the ride yet at this point. So
this is
we
actually very
wanted
interesting. Sorry if I can interrupt. This is very interesting because we had a case study in my grad school specifically on this. There's a psychological effect of doing all of these before the ride, so that you don't feel the line. If it's a long line,
Yes.
you don't feel it. So it's actually like a real thing that Disney does.
Yes, and I know for a fact that places that have long lines will sometimes use Disney to work on their line systems. Like TSAs have used Disney and things like that to get people through and figure out ways to distract them from the negative experience of standing around and doing nothing. So we don't want you to know when this starts. Does the attraction start with the merchant out front who's summoning you to come on this tour? Is it the bartenders that are telling you the stories of the unicorns they found? Is it your tour guide that you're meeting up with after that point? We can't answer that question. It's really up to you to decide when your experience is starting.
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of the Mummy back in the day. They used to have like characters in the queue with you that would make it like you had to kind of be on your toes the whole time because you didn't know if someone was going to like pop behind you and like do something, and then they had all those things that would like blow air and stuff. So I love it.
Time goes by a lot faster if you're entertained while you're waiting. So
exactly.
That's the point.
So as you meet up with your tour guide and you enter the woods, the lighting levels are low and the fog is dense. I kind of picture this, Katie, because I know you love this ride too, as E.T. at Universal.
Yes. I see a lot of E.T. connection here.
That is what I'm seeing. I feel like we keep referring back to Universal, but it's just very perfect for this.
Yeah.
So at this point, we will seamlessly move you from an outdoor setting to an indoor forest without you even realizing that you have moved inside. A bit of Disney mystical magic. You can't see the tops of the trees, and there's just an eerie feeling in the air. Your guide reminds you to keep your eyes peeled and keep your guard up. As you venture deeper into the woods, you hear noises of animals you've never heard before. And all of a sudden, a fairy appears above you. She's timid at first, and she hides from the group, but eventually she warms up and she greets you. She tells us that we're on the right track, and she may have seen some unicorn activity recently, but beware. Where there are unicorns, there are bound to be other mythical creatures, and some aren't as friendly as her.
Now, is she going to be an animatronic, or how is she going to be in the ride?
I think she's going to be like a Pepper's Ghost type of projection style. Like you can't really put your mind on what she is because she's like floating mysteriously in like a holographic way above you.
All right, I like it.
Oh man, we really are in a video game. That's what it sounds like.
Fun.
What do they call them? NPCs?
Yeah.
The fairy's gonna be an NPC.
Yeah. She's gonna come in and tell you something and then just like float there for a second, like a default, waiting for you to answer. Yep. Well, as you continue on, you're gonna approach a massive waterfall feature. And there is no way forward without going through this waterfall. So the guide is going to suggest that we either get completely soaked and go through it, or we just turn back and end the hunt.
End the hunt.
So everyone's going to be able to chime in at that point and give. Katie would be turning around. Katie's already back out.
I'm out.
She's already.
here.
Katie's back at the resort at the pool at this point.
Ridiculously
She went to
soaked
get
are out
popcorn.
this year. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm out.
So, and the mist of the waterfall is already very heavy, but just when we've all agreed to turn back, when Katie talked us all into it, a rock is going to fall into the path of the falling water, creating a perfect human-sized opening.
How perfect.
So it's going to
How
block
convenient.
just above our head to where we can fit through without getting wet. Now, if you look carefully up above, you'll see a mossy rock that might actually just be a troll that is winking at us from above and then turns around to go back to sleep.
Can it be one of the old trolls from the Norwegian ride? I'm hoping they
Of
still
course,
have
we'll
somebody
bring
kept
one of those
we're
back.
gonna bring one of those over for sure.
Yeah, they kept them in the archives.
It's another NPC. No, I think he was just annoyed with all of the
He wants
banter
to
about us
disappear,
turning around, and he was like, ugh, I'm trying to sleep here. I'll just open this up for them so they can stop and get away from me. So then he knocks the rock down, opening up this window for us to pass through without getting wet, and turns around and goes back to sleep.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah.
So we continue on, and it gets darker and spookier, but finally we arrive at the Unicorn Grotto, where most of the sightings have occurred. And the moment we've all been waiting for is here. Using the same magical Imagineering as the beast in Tokyo's Beauty and the Beast attraction, a unicorn figure will glide into the room. He stops and notices you, and his horn lights up in a shimmering metallic rainbow, because this is a Marissa project after all.
Wow.
But this isn't a cheesy My Little Pony experience. It's going to look absolutely epic and real. The scene will resemble the original concept art of the Unicorn Grotto for Beastly Kingdom, which we'll include on our Instagram page for you to see.
Yeah, definitely head over there
that's
because
really
it's
pretty.
quite stunning.
Yeah, we wanted to pay a lot of homage back to the original idea here, but have it be something that is modern and really cool and developed out. So that's how we got here. Well, we wanted this scene to be really special, and so special that you aren't guaranteed a unicorn sighting every time.
Oh.
It's completely
I don't know about
random. So
Oh,
this will
no.
incentivize guests to try again if they don't see it the first time. And I wanted it to kind of feel like real crypto tourism and like
Okay.
explorer tourism where nothing's ever guaranteed. Like, you know how people go out to see the northern lights, but they don't always see them, so they keep trying. So
I like that.
yeah,
Not everything's
very
too easy
interesting.
nowadays.
yeah.
Like-
So it's you don't know if it's going to be a successful mission. Like, there's no guarantee. And I just I had this vision of people like meeting up at their party after, and the party's like, did you see it? And it becoming like a thing for the park. Like, oh, we got the unicorn this time. Or like, oh, no, we didn't.
That's so cool.
It's very creative. It's very different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they have much like that where it could be a disappointing experience, but that's
Yeah.
kind of like part of the fun.
But that's like when we go on Mission Breakout, like it's kind of similar in the sense where like you want a certain song.
True,
You're,
you
like,
don't
gonna
know what
ride
song
it
you're-
over
yeah,
and
yeah,
over again
exactly.
until you get it.
Repeatability is really important, I think, when it comes to Imagineering design. And so we like to think about that.
And if you don't see the unicorn, there may be an opportunity for you to see something else.
I was going to ask, so is there
Okay.
going to be a different path we take if the unicorn does not appear?
I don't know if it's a different path, but
Okay.
maybe in the Unicorn
Different
Grotto.
scene.
Oh, so
In
something
Unicorn
has
Grotto.
taken the unicorn,
Mhm.
perhaps?
Perhaps, yeah.
Scary.
And maybe, I just hope it's something that isn't sinister,
Oh, no.
because you never know what else could lurk
I'm
in the forest of
forest.
Enchanted Glen.
Oh, no. What is it? Another troll? A bigger one?
But that's all we're going to say for now.
I need to know.
That's
Don't
that's
leave
it.
me
It's up
hanging.
to your imagination to figure out what you may see
Figment?
or not see.
Figment?
That would be
Yes.
terrifying. You never
Figment.
if you
It
came out of
strolls
nowhere.
out. Imagination.
Wow, Mike, I'm
Wow.
glad you got to hear that.
Mike doesn't know
I
who
almost
Figment
do.
is, but he
Probably
loves
has
that
no
song.
idea what
He's gonna
that
go
was.
look it
wanna
up
know
now.
It's my main motivation.
hmm
Oh, goodness.
Well, one last thing. I know we said no IP, but I feel like there's got to be an opportunity to throw in some merch for Rainbow Unicorn from Inside Out. I think
Yes.
she's definitely going to be featured in the gift shop.
Oh, that would be be so cute.
Yeah.
Maybe she can
that's
get her
her
own little
moment.
Disney Plus special where she goes throughout Scotland to find other unicorns.
Oh,
and
yeah.
hijinks
there you
ensue.
go.
That's cute.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
It could also be like a funny opportunity to do a meet and greet for her outside of the attraction,
Yeah.
like you would see as like a, like in Times Square they have those cheesy costumes. Like what if she was like the kind of fake embodiment of what a unicorn
a
is, and
sign
people
or
like she's like a
something.
silly character. Yeah, like tip me or something. But
Yeah.
obviously we wouldn't.
Yeah.
But it'd be funny to like incorporate her into the village, like as it like she's kind of like a joke version of what the real one is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm going.
Okay.
I would go to this ride, most definitely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm curious to think, Mike, as someone who doesn't know like what a modern day Disney experience is like, especially not at Animal Kingdom. Is this something that would be appealing?
This is very, very different. So there are a few thoughts that I have. When I like the creativity of not being so regular. So the point is like we all want instant gratification, and so this isn't always going to give you instant gratification. But there's a downside to that, right? And so as a person who's not saying I'm a non-Disney fan, but I'm just not a huge Disney person. And so in the one time that I'm going to Disney and I'm paying a lot of money, what's my incentive, right? Maybe the incentive is the excitement or the chance to see that unicorn. But would I be disappointed if I don't see it? Now, would that turn me off? I'm not sure, right?
And that
so-
makes sense. And I see what you're saying. And I think the reason that I could see it working is the fact that this isn't an e-ticket attraction. It's not going to be the big ride of someone's experience.
I see.
You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
the people that are doing this on repeat are the ones who have done all these attractions. But I see what you're saying too. There is kind of a disappointment factor to it if you don't see what you were hoping to see. So
Well, I mean, if you put it that way, if it's not an e-ticket attraction, which I completely forgot from the very beginning, then I could just go in a loop over and over.
right,
and over,
exactly.
Right?
We're not anticipating this is going to be a 2-hour wait. Like it's like you could hopefully you're looking at a 15 to 20 minute wait tops, like on a busy day.
It's like going down the Lazy River if you're in the water park.
And it's consistently, every 15 minutes there's another tour. So
how long is this supposed to be from the beginning to the end?
I'm thinking it's probably about a 25-minute experience. Spending about 5 to 7 minutes per room. Or I'd say room, but it would be like the different areas of the woods.
But we do all move together.
Yes,
so, like,
you move together. So it's like
go together.
Everyone's so like as soon as we move out of the first room, like into the next, like say for example, we're in the ferry room and we move through the waterfall, the next group's coming in behind us into that room. So there's always a full room. We just have to move the group out before you. So it's like it's constantly moving. It's not like you have to wait for a whole group to go through to start the next one.
And you know what else I'm thinking is, I'm thinking back to Universal, but in the Harry Potter land where you go and they do the wand picks you, and you're going into that, and not everybody's going to obviously get picked by the wand. So that's another thing where it's like it's not guaranteed you're going to get that either.
Right,
people still love it.
It's funny you say that because before we came up with this project, Marissa and I discussed like how could we do some type of shopping experience like that that's not that's not an attraction per se, but it is an experience. And so that kind of got us here, but we did have that thought. So it's nice that you picked it up.
Maybe if you get the unicorn, you get the chance to like buy some specialty like pin that says like I caught the unicorn this time or something.
Maybe there's like a t-shirt like
a collector's
I saw a
thing.
unicorn and all I got was this t-shirt or something.
Yeah,
like,
but you can only get it if you see the unicorn
or maybe there's like I didn't see it or something.
Yeah,
like,
that's funny. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, good idea.
That's a good way to monetize it. Yeah.
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 We love money.
I have another question. So if you're in that room where you have the chance to see the unicorn, how long are we waiting in that room for the chance to see it?
It's going to be just as long as the other rooms. You'd probably have to time them all to be about 5 to 10 minutes so that you could move people through at the exact same time. You know what I mean? Like they need to be able to end and everyone shifts at the same time.
Sure.
Would the unicorns and other creatures, would they be interactive with us, or would it be just kind of like
I think the fairy would interact, but I think it's going to be scripted with the tour guide. Like he may interact, and he could prompt us to say things back to her, but she's not going to be like responding as a human
Okay.
thought.
Cool.
And then the troll, I think, for example, he's doing the same thing every single time. He's not really saying much. And the unicorn's just going to appear. It's obviously not going to speak or do anything. It's just deciding.
Yep.
You should be blessed to see it. So of course,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
You're blessed to see her or him.
Yeah.
It has no desire to speak to you. It's just letting you see it.
Perfect.
It's got a busy day.
Well, overall, even though Beastly Kingdom was scrapped and is likely to never see the light of day, Disney still managed to bring some incredible beasts into the park. So think of like the Yeti. He's so beastly, he doesn't even move. He's just going to sit
frozen
there
in time
and freeze for you. And the Banshees from Pandora are beasts as well. So they did get a beast in the area for Beastly Kingdom. And one of my favorite beasts that we've ever created for this show was a modified version of Kali River Rapids into Sisu's Dragon River Rapids from season 2, episode 12.
That's a good one.
And to this day, that remains one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked on. Like when people ask me what my favorite one is, that's always the one I think of first. And I don't know, we're actively keeping the dream of Beastly Kingdom alive through this podcast, I think.
I like it.
I like it. Let's make it happen.
Thank you. Yeah.
Approved.
Thanks. Well, to sum it all up, we're creating Unicorn Quest at Enchanted Glen, a unique, slower-paced experience inspired by the canceled Beastly Kingdom. Instead of a high-tech thrill ride, we're offering a theatrical adventure through a Scottish town where guests join a tour to hunt for unicorns. Along the way, they'll encounter mythical creatures, mysterious effects, and a possible unicorn sighting at the end, making each journey different. With a low THRC, this attraction provides a refreshing break from the park's high-energy rides, embracing the magic of crypto tourism and the thrill of the unknown.
And unicorn hunting. Both
and unicorn hunting, of course. The most important part of this entire project.
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get beastly.
Yeah.
Well, we've journeyed through the forgotten realm of Beastly Kingdom, unraveled the mystery of why it never came to life, and even pitched our own epic fantasy experience. Because who doesn't want to hang out with unicorns and other mysterious creatures? But now it's up to our listeners to decide, would you go on a quest for unicorns at Enchanted Glen? Cast your vote for this project's approval or denial this Thursday in our polls on our IG stories.
Yeah, your feedback only inspires us to get better, so we truly welcome it. And we want to know what you liked or disliked, so feel free to send us a DM and let us know. And yeah, let us know if you think Unicorn Quest at Enchanted Glen deserves to gallop into reality, or if it's better left as a legend.
Like we mentioned earlier, we'd love to connect with our listeners, so please make sure to follow us on socials if you aren't already. That's at Idiots Imagineering on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. And if you're a Spotify listener, tap that 5-star button on our show page.
Yeah, and I want to give a huge shout out to Mike, our non-Disney adult representative, for joining us on today's episode. You are now an honorary idiot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts or words you'd like to share with our listeners?
This was so fun. I didn't realize imagining things that don't exist was going to be so much fun. And I don't know. We talked about unicorns, talked about mythical creatures. We talked about
That's a good one.
An elephant flamingo hybrid. Like this was a great experience, and I encourage all potential listeners to log on and listen to the rest of the podcasts.
I'm glad you think so, because we thought it would be fun too for about 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes. But here this is our 89th episode.
Congratulations!
Absolutely insane.
We are tired.
We have come up with a lot.
Yes,
we're still imagining
at work.
We got a lot more to come. So
you guys are doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here.
So a huge thank you to Steven, my co-unicorn fan extraordinaire, for helping me bring this week's project to life, even though he wouldn't let me include any unicorns pooping glitter and rainbows.
Oh, God.
Pooping, farting.
Okay.
I wanted glitter. He wouldn't
No.
allow it. So
No
Glitter
glitter.
farts?
I gave you a rainbow horn.
big deal.
It's going to be a subdued rainbow.
And thank you to our full-time idiot, Katie, and our new honorary idiot, Mike, for all of your feedback and commentary. But most importantly, thank you to our listeners for putting up with us for another week. Until next time, if you can dream it,
You can make a podcast about it. Bye.
bye.
Marissa, did you share your research with Miguel, or are you holding it on your own?
I haven't shared it with him yet. I don't know. I don't want him getting any ideas. We should start unicorn hunting. Just got married like a year ago.
The baby's almost here.
Baby's on the way. I think we're good. Staying home.
She said that we'll keep that as the 3 in our home.
Yep.
Not an additional adult. Thank you.